Right. Hey guys, on Wednesdays we wear pink, the 31st of February. You guys will be able to factor trinomials when A equals 1. Section 7.4. So specifically in 7.3, we said when A does not equal 1. What I meant by that for A is we have our A, B, and C, okay? So like for example, in this first trinomial, x squared plus 6x plus 8, the A is 1, the B is 6, and the C is 8. So the method we learned, where we made the x, we split it up into 4 terms, we grouped the terms into the first 2 and last 2 and went from there. That works for any trinomial. We're going to learn a shortcut that only works some of the time. It only works when A is 1. Let's go through the long way like we did before so we can try and see and discover what this shortcut just might be. So be on the lookout. We'll make the x here. What goes to the top of this x here? A times c, which is in what case? In this case, it's what? 8. And what goes to the bottom? B, which is 6. So we need 2 numbers that multiply to a positive 8 and add up to a positive 6. 4 and 2. Now, if you're having trouble with that, I always try and do my signs first, okay? We think if it has to multiply to a positive, it could either be 2 positives or it could be 2 negatives. A negative and a positive would give us a negative. So we know it's going to be 2 of the same signs. Would 2 negatives allow us to add up to negative 6 or to positive 6? No, so they have to be positive. So we just start thinking of factors of 8. And we say, okay, we got 1 and 8, 2 and 4. Oh, 2 and 4 add up to 6. So now when we split, the first term stays the same, x squared. The last term stays the same, plus 8. The middle term does split into plus 2x plus 4x. We got that from the sides of the sides of the x we made. Now we group those first 2 and the last 2. Whenever we have 4 terms, we always group them. Now these first 2, what's our GCF here? X. So we're going to have left inside, you take x squared divided by x, or x squared and take an x away. You're left with an x, a 1x. 2x, what happens if we take the x away from 2x? Just plus 2. You took the x out. It's gone. 4x and 8, what do they have in common? The greatest thing they have in common?
4.
4 is the greatest. They have a 2 in common, but 4 is even greater. So if we take 4x and take the 4 out, what are we left with?
1x.
Just a 1x. Take the 8, take a 4 out, aka divide the 4 out, and get 2. Hey, are those parentheses the exact same?
Yeah.
That's a good sign. Pull that out in front. What's going to go in our other parenthesis? X plus 4, whatever was left of that outside those parentheses. And that's our answer. Don't blurt, but see if you notice anything about our answer that time. Just look at it. You might not, and that's okay.
Has an X in it?
All right? Oh. All right. Let's go on to number 2. Number 2. Our A is 1. Our B is 5. And our C is negative 6. There's no GCF, so let's make our X. Shay said earlier, hey, A times C goes at the top here. Shay, this time what is A times C? Very good, very good. And she also said earlier that B goes on the bottom. Mason, what would be B this time? 5, very good. Now we need to multiply to get a negative 6. What kind of numbers are going to multiply to get a negative 6, Lainey? A negative and a positive, 2 negatives or 2 positives? Negative and a positive, very good. 1 of each. Okay, so what 2 factors of 6, negative and positive, they're actually going to subtract. When they add, they're really going to subtract to different signs. So what 2 factors of 6 are really going to subtract to get 5? 6 and 1. Now, is that 1 positive or negative? Negative, because the 6 has to be positive, right? Okay, so now when we rewrite this, the first stays the same. The last stays the same.
Does the 6 have to be positive because the 5 is positive?
Yes. Yep. Because if you add these, -1 plus 6 on the sides, you have to get that positive 5 again. Then we're going to split the 5x into -x or -1x and plus 6x. So now we say, hey, we have 4 terms. Group the first two, group the last two. Those first two, what do they have in common? X squared and x. X. In order for the x minus, what's x divided by itself? 1. Anything divided by itself is 1. What do 6x and -6 have in common? 6. We pull out a positive 6. In order for x minus 1. Hey, are those parentheses the same?
Yeah.
That's good. Pull that x minus 1 out in front. And what are we left with? X plus 6 for the other one. Tucker, don't blurt, but you can say yes or no. Is the thing you thought you noticed still there? Okay. No one blurt. Take a look at this answer and see if you can maybe are noticing any sort of a pattern. Tucker thinks he sees it. It exists in both of them so far. Both problems we've done, it exists. It exists.
Yeah.
Okay. Tucker, what do you think you see?
The answer is the same as what's in the x on the sides.
Notice in the sides of the x in the first one, we had a positive 2 and a positive 4. And where's our answer? Positive 2, positive 4.
So you made us do all that work for nothing.
Here, what do we see on the sides of the x? -1 and a positive 6. What do we see as our answer? -1, positive 6. This is the shortcut. It only works when a is 1. If a is not 1, like we had on some of our problems before, okay? Like on our test, we had a lot of them where a wasn't 1. We can't do this. We can't do the shortcut. You have to go through this whole way. But if it works, you can skip out of all these steps and go straight from the start to the x to the end.
How dare you?
Hey,
How dare you?
now we got to use it though.
Yeah. But like you could have taught us that before.
But you wouldn't have used it on like any of those. Maybe like one problem.
Still, that's one problem I got right.
I'm just saying, hey, if you could get this, then you could have written the x, gotten some points on those problems. Okay. So, x squared minus 5x plus 6. Is a 1? Yes. So will the shortcut work here? Yes. Okay, that's a good sign. So, what's going to go on the top of our x here? 6. 1 times 6 is a times c here. What's going on the bottom? -5 because they're b. Mason, put it away. Two numbers that multiply to 6. Okay, if it multiplies to a positive, to the same sign or are they different signs?
Different.
Different.
Same and different.
No, same.
Multiply to a positive.
Same.
Will a negative and a positive give us a positive by multiplying?
No. Two negatives.
It has to be 2 negatives or 2 positives. Here it has to be 2 negatives. A negative something and a negative something multiplied together will give us a positive. Here, what two factors of 6, same signs will actually add, give us 5. Add up to 5. 2 and 3. Does it matter whether you put the 2 or 3 first? No.
So that's our answer.
Now for our shortcut, you make 2 parentheses. The parentheses both start with the variable. You don't put x squared, you just put x. So they both start with an x. Then you finish them off with whatever the number and the sign. This is a -2, so we put -2. The right side of the x is a -3, -3. And that's your answer.
Can we do the next one?
No, don't even. I want him to just keep explaining it.
Okay, you do that. I'll do it myself.
Okay. I want you to go and try the second one by yourself.
Are you kidding me right now?
All right, on number 2 here. A is 1, which is nice. We make our x. A times c at the top, which is what? -63. We should already know if it multiplies to a negative, it has to be 2 of the same sign or 1 of each. One of each. Okay, what goes at the bottom here?
Negative 2.
B, whatever our B is, in this case, -2. So our two factors of -63 have to end up having a difference, because they'll different signs, so they'll really subtract of -2. So what are our two factors, do we think? -9, +7. Okay, can we do our shortcut here? Yeah, raise your hand if you can help me with one of the parentheses. Okay, Lainey.
Okay, so parentheses, x minus 9.
Awesome. Raise your hand if you want to help me with the other one. Okay, Tucker.
Parentheses, x plus 7.
Very good, and that's our answer.
Yup.
Mason, what did you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you say?
I did it wrong.
Okay, does it make sense why we would do it this way?
No.
Okay. What part do you not understand? Do you not understand the blue setting up the x?
The orange stuff.
The orange stuff, like right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we get the sides of the x? Okay. Did it make sense why it's negative and a positive?
No.
Okay. So Mason, they have to multiply to the top. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, can you multiply two negatives and get a negative?
No.
What's a negative times a negative? Positive. Okay. So it can't be two negatives, can it? What's a positive times a positive?
Negative.
Positive. So it can't be two positives. What's a negative times a positive?
A negative.
So it has to be a negative and a positive. Does that make what?
So why does the 9 go in the front?
It technically doesn't. I just always prefer putting the negative first because it makes our life slightly easier.
Does the bigger number get in front?
No.
No.
I always just prefer putting, if you have one of each sign, I just prefer putting the negative first.
So it doesn't matter.
No, if you have +7 and -9, that's fine.
Okay.
So if your parentheses is the same as mine, they're just in x plus 7's first, x minus 9's second. That's totally okay. Is that what you had?
No.
Oh.
I had x minus 7 plus, and then x plus 9.
Okay. So it has to be, the 9 has to be negative here.
Why? That's why.
Adding up to -2. Would if yours would add up to +2. We want it to add up to -2. Make more sense? Okay. Let's try number 3 here.
Together.
No. Wait. Hey, is there... We can't do the shortcut, can we?
No.
Wait a second. Is there a GCF?
Go to the other one.
Yeah, 2. So if we take out a 2, what are we left with?
18 and 40.
No. A squared, negative something.
9.
There you go. And plus
Lee, what'd you
Yeah.
get on this test?
20.
What'd you get 100%?
I wish.
All right.
Can't get that.
Now, hey, wait. Inside the parenthesis, can we use the shortcut now?
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. So when we make, going forward, the rest of this problem, use what's inside of the parenthesis to make your x. Okay? Go and try finishing this. Moving on, guys. On number 3, we make our x here, we use the numbers inside the parentheses. So a times c is going to be 1 times 20 or 20. The bottom is b, the -9. To multiply to the top, we're going to need 2 of the same sign. A negative and a positive would not give us a positive. We either need 2 positive or 2 negative.
1 negative, 1 positive. No, 2 negative.
2 negatives. Now, what 2 factors of 20 add up to 9? Well, if we're stuck, write them out. 1 times 20. Nope, that adds up to 21. 2 times 10. Nope, that adds up to 12. 3 doesn't go into it. 4 times 5. Hey, what does 4 and 5 add up to? 9. They multiply to 20. Does it matter whether we put the 4 or 5 first? No. So we have the 2 out in front still. Then we make 2 parentheses. What's my first parenthesis going to be? Mason, put it away. Yeah, Tucker.
x. No.
A minus 4.
A minus 4. Could someone raise your hand and tell me the second parenthesis? Maddie. A minus 5. And we're done. Make sure you get that 2 out in front.
I used x. Is that
Raise your hand.
I'd be okay with it. Mason. Okay, hi stretching. I'm Mr. Costle. Nice to meet you. Okay. Tucker.
I don't know why, but I went through the whole thing and forgot about the shortcut.
Oh. Did you get it right?
Yeah.
Well, good job. Yeah. Man, what an interesting scenario.
Did someone just
For now, I want you to do, we're going to finish up the notes next time. I want you to do numbers 4 through 7. And let's also do 9 through... Scratch that, not 9. Sorry.
1, 2, 3.
Let's do 10
Let's say 1 through 3.
and 11 as well.
Thanks, Mr. Console. Thanks for class.
Yes.